Hello everyone, Switched Up here. In this video, I'm gonna talk about a friend of mine. If you have listened to all my stories about the true friend, true love stories, and with the music in the background, he is the one who made them. And he has to change his name from time to time on YouTube. And lately he is using the name Nor after Chat Noir from Ladybug, Miraculous Ladybug series. And he had told me something about a few weeks ago that he had something amazing happen to his life. He had found a true love of his own, and I was happy for him. He had met a girl from within Miraculous Ladybug fandom on an email site, but she was only a year younger than him. She was about 15 and he is 16, so only 1 year apart. And she lived in India, and he lives in the US. Long story short, they were so much unhappy in love with each other until recently. He had to break up with his girlfriend because of his mother. And before you saying any bad words or anything, he actually gave me permission to make this a video. And and I also promised not to make his mother as a bad guy in this because it is has a very differently, I was gonna say, um very much an outcomes. There could have been very much differently, and I will explain later on why I meant. But anyways, he was so happy to have found his true love in his girl, and I won't announce her true name because for a privacy reason. So I will only announce her as the girl as much as I can. But anyways, my friend Josh, or his name is real name, has been much in deeply in love with this girl for a few months now. No, about a month actually, I think. And he was very much worried if he had to tell his family about it because he had no idea how their reaction would be or her parents would be the same reaction to that. But let's say that it didn't have the same outcome which they believed to be. And when you ask me why his mother made him to break up with her, well, there must, and you may thought maybe this could have been something because of distance. In that case, it is true, yes, because since they live so far away between each other, she thought that a long distance between India and the US are too far, and that they would probably never see each other, and that since they're I'm not even certainly how much common that back in India, but I know that there are some families that make some arranged marriage already when their children are young. So his my friend, his mother believed that his girlfriend could have been in this arranged marriage already without him even knowing it or something. So, and she thought that maybe this wasn't much as a good idea for her son to be in a relationship with someone who's perhaps already been promised to be married in some much early later on in her life. So, from his mother's perspective, I can understand that but was worried about her son and that probably would never see his girlfriend in real life. But in truth is that her family was supposed to go to US on vacation the next year, and they were supposed to be meeting the first time. And unfortunately, that never happened. And and here's the point what I'm going to talk about, what I mentioned earlier. When I asked him, why would you just tell your mother and saying that you had broke up with her, but you kept as a secret that you still much in love with her and even keep her and I mean, why wouldn't he just tell his mother that he had broke up with her and that he still was together with her in secret. But in case that could have worked, just for one problem. His mother works as a psychologist, and she would have noticed him if he were lying to her. Well, so, and the second is why? Is the why he had to break up with her in the first place? And what well, I did ask him, why did his mother force him to leave her? And that is the case from what I said earlier. That mostly because of distance, and that she thought maybe it's part of this arranged marriage in the future for her, and it might be part of that things, yes. And even though that they were much deeper in love, and he tried to explain this to her, but she wouldn't even listen. She tried to make this as a she was very much heartbroken. If from her perspective, I can understand the pain, how it feels like when you finally found someone you really care about, even if it's so far between each other, and you promise to make sure that it will go work. But you have to realize sometimes their long distance relationship sometimes doesn't even work in long term. In perspective, I can stand many wants to make this work, and sure, he wanted to make this work, and I can understand that. But you all may understand, long distance relationship is a tricky. But anyways, Josh tried to talk to her about this. He explained that was his mother and that he didn't want to do it, but he was forced. Either he did that, or she would make some or that he would be punished by his mother in some way. Maybe curfew, maybe grounded for months. I have no idea what she could do. But the girl, she didn't take it so well, as I mentioned. She was very much upset against him. She blocked him on Amino, and she even called him a bad word, which I won't mention at all because this is a kid friendly channel. But let's say it wasn't a nice word. I can understand from her perspective how she felt like betrayed and that he had promised her that they will meet together one day at sometime next year and they will always be together, that he loved her and that he would never do this some kind of things. And from his perspective, I can stand he has really much was so deeply in love with her that he really wanted to be with her, but he had to do this, or he did this series. I don't know exactly what kind of punishment his mother would give her or give him, and I can understand from both perspectives, both from him and from her, and that they were much in love with each other. Believe me, I would have felt exactly the same thing if it was from my girlfriend's parents, but if they had what had would it been entirely against him from the beginning. Believe me, I would have felt it exactly the same. So I know exactly how he would have been if it was from in my safe case as well. Believe me, I do understand his pain, cause I had been heartbroken a few times in my years, so I can understand the pain itself. But he do have But I even asked him about the same question. What if that this girl lived in the US, but maybe not in the same state as him? Maybe if she lived perhaps maybe a few states away, maybe half across the country, and at the same age. And even if he was an Indian descent, then his mother would have approved it because if they were in the same country, just only some maybe halfway across the country between each other, they would be much easier for them to meet. Because if you had to notice that plane tickets from US to India can be expensive, but if you had to travel only in within the country itself, it might be easier. You can either take train, bus, car, or even a plane. But if you have to go to India, that's only plane ways that can go to. So from this perspective, from his mother, I can understand that she just was worried about her son, and that she wants just the best for him. And in that perspective, I can understand. But from his side of view, I understand he can feel like that his mother could not have decided for him, that he wants to be the one to decide who to be with, and that he really want to be with her, and he tried to talk to her, but it didn't work out. She didn't want to talk to him after that. After he said, even after he explained all of it. And from their perspective, I really understand how it feels. Trust me, I do. And from his, it in, if this all of this was in my case, I would have felt the same for him in the sense as he do. And even though that he had just lost his true love for this, I cannot even imagine how he feels at the moment. Like hurt, maybe the most common, and that he felt betrayed, maybe by his mother. That she has the right to say who he would be with or not be with, because the parent arts are not supposed to telling you you're not supposed to be with that particular person. You're supposed to be with another person which they approve. For example, if you had a boy that you were much in love with, and he was a kind, and even he's maybe he's not from the same class of family. If you were from more like a middle class family, and this boy is from a work class family, and that your family doesn't even approve that he is from a lower class family like yours, and that they decided maybe to set up a date with a friend of theirs who has another a son in of her own age, but she would not approve that. In that part, I can understand. In parents should not have been intervene their children's life in that part. No, I mean we are decided to make. We are supposed to make the decisions who we want to be with. I mean, if I had a daughter or a son of my own, and he was probably the same age as me, or perhaps maybe in his early teens or late teens, and that he or she was in love with someone, I would not understand. I would not have much say. You should not date her or him, in any case. But I should have been worried sometimes, maybe cautious how this person. Well, at least get to know the person first before this making decisions. Like say, if I just saw him or her just for the first time, say, "Oh no, she or he cannot be dating my son or daughter because they seem to be a very much a bad influence." Maybe the appearance could be deceiving. I know that. So if I did get to know the person and finds out, "Oh wow, I misjudged her or him," even this person seems to be looking as very much as a bad influence, like of disobeying rules, not listening to anyone, but just could have been sort of even appearance could be much deceiving. But from this perspective, I understand my friend. He has felt much hurt about this, and recently also all about this. I can tell that he has two friends that was, well, let's say where he was close to lose them. They were. I don't even actually don't know much details. He didn't tell me much about it. Only that his two close friends to him were about to commit suicide, and it never happened before. I think at least one of them, his friends were is a girl, which he is a close friend to. Gave her a second chance, and they talked about it, and seems to be much better for now, at least. which is a good thing. I mean, losing a friend over suicide is something I don't want to even imagine how it feels. But especially now when he has just lost his true love, and I don't know how much time he would feel like this. Because one time when I was hurt, when I was just had been broken up with my girlfriend at the time then, when I was maybe 13, 14, I was hurtful for nearly 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to get back to have moved past that moment. But I don't know how long it will take for him, but it can take days, weeks, months, perhaps even a year. But I just only wanted him to be happy again. And I know for certainly that he will find someone else in his life, and that his ex girlfriend will also find someone and perhaps move on from this. This experience will give them something. They should all, we all should know there might be some warning signs from any side. Like it could have been a distant order that the parents get involved in their children's relationship with someone. Just just saying like this, don't judge the parent in the first right away. Because the parent always wants the best for the children, which I can understand is normal understanding. I just want to say that my friend right now he deserves all the support and friendship that he needs. And I can even understand I only want him to be happy again. And as I can say, he's a great guy. And I know for certainly that someday soon he might find another girl to fall in love with. Even he that even he then perhaps doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone right at the moment, that he preferred to be alone for some time to get used that he had just been in a relationship and doesn't want to enter a new one. All I can say is he is a great guy, and he deserves all the friendship and support from both friends and family all after all this. But who knows? Who knows about that? Or if he will ever find another girl he likes. I mean, who knows about it? It could happen that one of his close friends may like him may like him very much and has been shy to tell him about it, and even if she tells him how much she likes him and they even have so much in common. So if that happens, if he do likes her in some way, I will tell him, go for it. Give it a chance to see if this could work. I mean, if I was a friend of mine who had the same, I would say tell him the same. I mean, if there was me, if I was encouraged someone dating, and so for my friend, the all I want to say is to him is be patient. You will find your love again, even if it takes some more time. But always remember always remembers the two steps. Listen to your heart is number two. Number one, let time heal your heart. It might take some time for your heart to be healed and you might find love again. But who knows? You might find true love soon again when you at least know it. You might could have find someone you might like as fast as you know. Might be a female friend who had known you for many years and suddenly have a crush on you, and if the girl has a crush on you, I would say at least try go on a date with her to see if there is some sort of romantic connection before you say no immediately. But as for my friend, if you have a female friend, you will find her. Well, at least, sorry, if you have a female friend who has had a crush on you, go for it. Give it a chance to see if they can work between you. But if you don't have that kind of friend, always remember the advice. You will find your love. Trust me. It just might take some time, but you will find your love once and for all. So everyone who's listened to this has been listening to this video, thanks for all, and thanks for all your support of the channel. And also show this all support and love to my friend Nor.i, or aka Josh, and make sure that he has received all the love, friendship, and support he needs at this moment. And yeah, so as always, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, this is Switch Diablo over and out.